back to another movie review. Today I'm going to be talking about the 2014, it's 2015 now, the 2014 Annie. Now I'm just going to tell you right off the bat, this is going to be just a guilty pleasure movie for me. I'm not sure why I liked it as much as I did. It's so cheesy, but I actually really enjoyed it. I was kind of, well, I'll tell you my full thoughts. But basically, I've seen the other two Annie movies, the one from the 80s, the one from the 90s. I've seen a play of Annie, not like a professional play, but I think it was at a school or something, you know, when I was younger. I watched a play of Annie, and I've always liked Annie. I love the songs in Annie. It's a Hard Knock Life was always my favourite, and then The Sun Will Come Out Tomorrow. I'll be honest, I've watched the 90s version of Annie more times than the 80s version of Annie, but I like both of them. It's just that in the 90s one, I love Kathy Bates as Miss Hannigan. Now then this Annie, so of course, you know, when they announced this Annie, I was a bit like, oh, yeah, but I wasn't, you know, I wasn't against it or for it or anything, but I was just like, oh yeah, okay. But the only thing I was worried about was Cameron Diaz as Miss Hannigan, because I don't know, she just didn't scream Miss Hannigan for me, especially because I really love Kathy Bates as Miss Hannigan. I also like the other one who, I forgot the actress's name, but I really love Kathy Bates', but it's just because I'm a big fan of Kathy Bates. I mean, I always love her roles in the movies, so yeah, so I was a bit like, okay, concerned. And then when I popped this movie in, the first half an hour, it kind of stays quite close to the Annie story, and honestly the first half an hour was probably my least favourite part of the movie, whereas usually in the two other Annie movies I love the bit where they're in the orphanage and all that stuff, but then I always kind of don't enjoy the second half quite as much, you know, where she goes off to live with it's somebody different in every movie. Now I can't even think, you know, she goes off to live with the rich guy and stay with him for like a political move in either, you know, it's always for his own benefit in the movies. I always kind of didn't enjoy that bit quite as much, but I still enjoyed it. I just didn't enjoy it as much as the beginning when Annie's in the orphanage and she finds the dog and stuff. Whereas in this one, it was quite the other way around. The first 30 minutes I thought, oh god, you know, they're just going to kind of copy Annie and not do it as well. It's a Hard Knock Life. In this one here was, see, that scene for me just wasn't as good as in the other two. I just didn't enjoy it as much, and it was definitely something I was looking forward to. So when that scene came about, straight away I was like, oh, hopefully I'm not going to not enjoy this. But Quvenzhané Wallis, is that her last name? Yes, Quvenzhané, I knew her first name was Quvenzhané, which is a tricky one, but then I didn't remember her last name. Anyway, Quvenzhané Wallis is Annie in this, and she is such a fantastic Annie. And I feel like once we get over the first half an hour is not bad. I mean, it's just, compared to the rest, I felt like the first half an hour was just lacking a bit of something, and once it really gets going, I really enjoyed it. But I think it's because of this. I feel like they didn't just copy Annie. And in the beginning they make a little joke. They have, you know, the little red-headed Annie in the class, and they say, okay, thank you Annie, and then they say, okay, Annie B, and you know, they have this Annie, and I really liked that little joke. It was really cute. But yeah, then it kind of becomes into its own, and if you're okay with that, then you'll enjoy it if you're an Annie fan, and if you're not okay with that, then I guess you won't. Whereas with me, if they do a remake and they change things, I'm fine with it, because at the end of the day, you know, I can still watch the original movie and enjoy it just as much. I think the 80s one and the 90s one are very, very, very close in story, if not pretty much exactly the same. So it was kind of nice to get a fresh, you know, I don't know, something fresh from this one. I liked the change in the songs. I mean, I think I'm going to like it here. I had so much fun with it, and it got stuck in my head, and they kind of, it's still a similar song, it's just they revamped it. The idea of the rich man is definitely changed over time, and that's just something that's changed. Social media comes into this, and when I heard that first, I was like, oh no, they're going to really overplay social media, which I guess they did, but it didn't annoy me. It kind of worked in well. They did it well, I thought, personally. It wasn't too annoying. So yeah, they kind of worked that into it. And they also added 3 new songs. Now, one of the new songs that they added was my favourite song from this movie, and I was so surprised, and that song is Opportunity, and it's just so good. And Quvenzhané Wallis, the way that she sings it is fantastic. I think it even got, yeah, it got nominated for Best Original Song at the Golden Globes, which is fantastic. And I don't know, Quvenzhané Wallis as Annie was great. She kind of really held the movie together. She pulled it all through. Jamie Foxx was good. I mean, he was fun. I liked him as the guy. And Rose, what's her name? Rose, I can't know how to pronounce her last name, but she's not on the front cover here, which is weird because she's actually quite a big part in this movie. She was good as well. There wasn't as many kids at the, well, they call it a foster home in this one instead of an orphanage. There wasn't as many kids in it, but that was still fine because you kind of got to know each of the kids a little bit better rather than there being a whole bunch of kids and not getting to know them. You got to know them a little bit better. But Cameron Diaz just kind of, again, didn't really fit in with this. I feel like, sorry, I've just got an itch on my face. I feel like she didn't, I don't know, she kind of dragged it down for me. I've watched this movie twice, I should have mentioned at the beginning. I've watched this movie twice, watched it back to back, because I had a fun time with it. I really, really enjoyed it. I really liked the songs, really liked this change of songs. They changed Little Girls, which at first I was like, whoa, not too impressed with that. But then the second time, it was okay, it got stuck in my head. I was like, oh yeah, it's stuck in my head. And the other two songs that they added, I was a bit like, oh yeah, they're okay, but nothing fantastic. But Opportunity, I really loved. Another thing about this movie is it's very big on loving New York, and if you know me, you know New York is my favourite place. I love New York, it's my favourite place I've ever been to, and you really got to see a lot of New York, like, especially kind of, you know, in the middle of the movie, they take a helicopter ride and like view like a lot of, you know, some of the big things in New York, and it's so cool, and that kind of really just kind of made me love it a bit more just because I really love New York. So I feel like this movie I could watch over and over and over again. Whereas with the other ones, I feel like I really love them, but I wouldn't watch them over and over again. But it doesn't mean that I think this one's better. This is a very cheesy movie. It's over the top. It's not fantastic. The acting is, to be fair, the acting isn't the best apart from Conventionally Wallace. I think she does such a great job. And I feel like if it wasn't, I don't know, it was another little kid and they weren't fantastic, then maybe this wouldn't have worked as well for me. I would have been like, eh, but no, she really kind of made this movie for me. And the dog was very cute as well. They had a bit of a different storyline with that as well. The storyline was just different in areas, and I was okay with that. I mean, like I say, you know, things have changed, times have changed. It's definitely very much a modern day Annie. You know, the place where he lives isn't a big mansion anymore, and they even talk about that. He doesn't have a tons of servants. He just has a smart house. So, you know, it's really cool to see the changes. I feel like it's really relatable to today's society, and I feel like kids will really love it as of today because they can, you know, relate to it more and stuff. But yeah, I don't know, I really enjoyed it. I'd actually probably give it 4.5 stars. I feel like that's really generous. I was going to give it 4, but I just had such a fun time with it. And that Opportunity bit and Conventionally Wallace, I don't know, I just, apart from Cameron Diaz and the very beginning, I just had a little bit of problems with. I just really enjoyed the movie. I just had a fun time. It was one of those movies I could just sit back, relax, not need to think about anything, and just enjoy it. This is just definitely a guilty pleasure movie for me now. I don't know if it is a guilty pleasure, but I feel like a lot of people do not like this, and I just enjoyed it and had fun. So yeah, if you haven't seen Annie, you've enjoyed the other Annies, go into this one kind of expecting something a bit new. Don't really, you know, you don't need to compare it heavily to the other ones because it's something different, and it kind of stands out there on its own a little bit, because like I say, the story has kind of changed, which I was okay with. So yes, I really enjoyed this movie. Let me know down in the comments below if you have seen it. I've definitely heard some people say that they did not enjoy it, but personally I did. I had a fun time. I know I'm going to watch it more times. I could watch it now and just be like, yeah, put it back on. I don't know what it is with me. But yeah, I really enjoyed it. So yeah, until then guys, I will see you next time. Thank you so much for watching. Thumbs up if you enjoyed this review, and I will see you then. Goodbye!